Well, fellas, what the flaming crows was that? That was awful. We were not in that game for any of it until Benvenu scored late. That was terrible. Terrible performance. We need to turn things around big time here in Iceland in the next league. Before then, I think you guys need a game in the Domestic League Cup just to gain some confidence. Because if you play like that again, we are gone. Must win time now, boys. Need to get the job done.
Looking for trouble and fights, but you found me. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I'm glad you're someone to rely on, someone to rely on. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I could be someone to rely on, someone to rely on, someone to rely on.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 174 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode is the second leg of the first knockout round in the 2036 Champions League. We have a 2-1 deficit to overturn at my arena when we do take on Lille, and before that a quick domestic recap as well as a big new signing here at Völsungur. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we're picking things up a little bit off the back of where we left things at the end of yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, I will leave a link to it in the top right corner. Really poor performance from us there in France, and that does mean that going into the second leg of this first knockout round tie, we are trailing only by the 1 goal thanks to a late strike there through Benvenu. That goal could prove quite important to us, and that does mean that we do need to win this second leg. Otherwise, we are going to get knocked out in the first knockout round as the defending champions of Europe. Off the back of that game in yesterday's episode, we played a few more in the League Cup. You probably see the results there on the right-hand side, but we'll run through them quickly over here anyway. Our first rotation took on Shaun. We did concede 2 goals in the second half, a little bit concerning against a team like Shaun, but thankfully we scored 7. That did include 4 goals to Adam Saki, so hopefully he brings that form here into this upcoming second leg against Lille. So we pick up a 5-goal win there, although slightly concerning, as I said, that we did concede 2 yet again, this time against a team like Shaun. And off the back of that, we took on Fjolnir. They finished lower to mid-table in the second tier of Iceland last season. Our rotation team got the job done over those guys, as you would expect, especially after they got a player sent off after only 24 minutes to 2 quite comfortable wins there. I'd argue that our rotation team was actually a little bit more impressive there than our first team was, but hopefully those wins give us a nice bit of confidence going into this upcoming second leg against Lille. And alongside that as well, the dynamics here at the club are slightly better these days. Just Basaro Gay still unhappy that we have not allowed him to leave the club. Those other players who were Hans Voss, Ognar Mizkic, and I believe the other one was Richard Baswa, they have all got over those issues that they did take into the first league. So hopefully that's going to help out our dynamics, even though it actually looks like it is a little bit worse because team cohesion has gone down ever so slightly since it was leading into that first league in yesterday's episode. But you might have noticed potentially a name in that previous game that we did play against Fjolnir, a new addition to the club, and I'm hopeful that is going to be the missing piece to this puzzle that we do have here at Völsungur. And here is our new signing. This is Jonathan Berger, a player who we did sign out of Chelsea. That is the reason we went after this guy a little bit earlier than we had initially planned, just in case we do have to take them on at some stage during this upcoming Champions League season. Might just give them a little bit less squad depth, but he is mainly a centre-back, but we are going to try him out as a left-back, but because with his physical attributes, he's quite a quick player, his good stamina, his mental is very good in his crossing, not the worst. I think he could do a good job for us at left-back with his 4-star current ability, and potentially is a decent upgrade on what we do have there at the moment in both Louis Herrera and in Premzel Bocchi. He is 25 years old, 33 caps for the Belgian national team, so he will slot in alongside both Filippo Dinelli and, of course, Alain Basicki as Belgian internationals here. At Völsungur, we spent £44 million on this guy up front, an extra £7 million on add-ons. The overall fee was £51 million. Not too bad when you consider that we actually nearly signed this guy a few seasons ago. We were in that race to get him off of Anderlecht alongside Chelsea. In the end, we didn't quite have enough money to match the big clubs only a couple of years ago, so we went to Chelsea and we only had to pay on a whole £9 million more than what Chelsea got him for. So I don't think it's that bad a deal. A player who we were interested in a while back, albeit that was as a centre-back. Actually looks like he might end up being quite a good wing back there, I think. And hopefully, when we go over to our first team picture, and this is the team we are going to line up for this upcoming second leg against Lille, if you take out Louis Herrera, put him on the bench and slot in instead of Bokek, our new signing in Jonathan Berger, that is one very, very well-balanced, strong-looking team going into the next European season. So hopefully that is going to do the job for us next season, and we're pretty strong before then too, with Louis Herrera still having quite a bit of potential, but just taking a little bit longer than we would have liked for him to fulfill that. A little bit different to Radenko Krolo out on the other side, but this will be our team, all things going well, next European season, and as I said, does look like quite a strong, well-balanced team. But we'll switch things back there, go back to what we did previously have, and this is our team going into this upcoming game. Once I can eventually find Premzel Bokek, there he is, just slipped down the order a little bit further than Jonathan Berger was, but exactly the same squad that we did play against Lille yesterday, so hopefully they play a lot better off the back of that win against Shaun, albeit the defence potentially still does need just a little bit of work there, conceding those 2 goals. In terms of injuries, Jonata is back. We've got no injuries at all, but still just a little bit short of match fitness. So Hans Voss is going to be on the bench in his place yet again. And a quick update on what the other ties do look like before we play ours here in the second leg of the first knockout round. We are on the 3rd match week this time, just swapping things around with both Hertha Berlin, Chelsea and Milan Bayern Munich. So far, Man City have come from behind, picked up a 4-1 win there in the second leg against PSG. They go through 5-3. Juventus go through quite comfortably over Dortmund, who finished second in our group by a scoreline of 5-1. Man United come from behind to defeat Inter Milan. So yet again, Kenny Boreal and Kalen Rakasan go out of the Champions League knockouts nice and early, 3-2 on aggregate. And Liverpool have just got the job done there over Barcelona by a scoreline of 3-2. And upcoming, Arsenal do look like they're in quite a strong position, as do Chelsea. Us against Lille and Bayern Munich and AC Milan do look like the tightest ties here going in to these upcoming second legs, but we'll come back shortly and hopefully turn things around as we do take on Lille from my arena, starting things off a goal down. And here are the team sheets for the second leg. As I said before, we're going with exactly the same squad. Something did just pop up though in the pre-match interview. Lille have lost their goalkeeper from the first leg. That could be quite big because he actually had a really good game yesterday. So there is one notable change. Hopefully that makes a difference. As I said, we need to win this one as we start things off 2-1 down. And only 2 minutes into this one, we have a highlight and it's a free kick to Lille. So hopefully we get position back here and can get on the front foot nice and early here in front of our home crowd. If Lille get a goal here, that's going to make things very, very dicey with our Champions League defence. And at the moment, Lille do keep possession well, although as I say that, nice foot in there from Radenko Krolo, and we do get on the counter-attack. Mizkic here from a tight angle with a shot, but just fizzes that wide, but there's an early chance for us. Still 0-0 on the day, 2-1 behind after 3 minutes, and we get shown a highlight immediately off the back of that previous chance to Mizkic. A restart there from Lille, and they keep possession for now from it, albeit ball over the top, and Ali Ramadan is going to retreat and get possession back for us, and hopefully we can get on the front foot again here nice and early and create another chance and hopefully equalise things nice and early. Benvenu Bayer, nice ball forward here for Alam Sakin, rockets that into the right hand side of goal. The new Lille goalkeeper does absolutely nothing about that. So as I mentioned, that switch in goalkeeper might be quite important, that injury that he's picked up since we played them in yesterday's episode, and after only 3 minutes we do grab an equaliser and hopefully this gets us on the front foot. Nice ball there forward from Bayer for Saki. Puts that into near enough the bottom right corner, and just like that, 1-0 on the day, 2-2 on aggregate. And quite a few early highlights in this one. We have a corner now at the 7-minute mark, and Filippo Donelli just puts that over the bar. We nearly go in front, but certainly starting this one off a lot better than we did yesterday. We are still locked up here, 10 minutes into the second leg. And for another few minutes off the back of that previous chance, so lots of action early in this one, and yet again it does look like we might be on the attack here as we play our way out from the back and get that out to Radenko. Krolo just plays that forward there to Agategere. Back in there for Krolo, although it's a bit of a misinterception. The ball falls to Saki. It's a block shot. That was a big chance there. It was a little bit scrappy at the back from Lille, but they somehow recover. We nearly go in front there, but unfortunately Lille do just scramble well enough to keep the scoreline locked up at all square, and unfortunately Herrera just flicks that one on to a Lille player, but we are all over them here early. And now another highlight here after only 18 minutes. The action continues to happen nice and early in this one. Hopefully we can strike a lead here before half time at some stage during this first half, because we have been well on top of our French opposition this time around. Agatigere here holds the ball up. Radenko Krolo ball over the top here for Adam Saki. Takes it around. The goalkeeper beats him at his near post. He looks nowhere near as good as that goalkeeper who we did take on in that first leg yesterday. And Adam Saki does give us the lead for the first time in this tie, just shy of the 20-minute mark in the second leg. Nice ball forward there from Radenko Krolo, as I said, takes that round the goalkeeper just inside his near post. And that is now 3-2 on aggregate, 20 minutes into the second leg. And we go all the way forward to the 34-minute mark for our next highlight. Lille there did have a throw, we deal with it, but we clear it and they get possession back inside our half and just hold the ball up here and try and get something going really for the first time in this one. But good interception there from Filippo Donelli, and it starts yet another counter-attack. Agatigere plays that forward for Adam Saki, but this time Dabo in goal for Lille will make a save, but we continue to get well and truly on top of our French opposition. Can we grab a cushion goal before half-time? Not this time. They deal with that corner pretty safely, and that will keep it at 3-2 here, around about 10 minutes shy of half-time. We'll wait and see if anything comes from that highlight. It doesn't, and we are still 2-0 up on the day, 3-2 up on aggregate, just shy of 10 minutes before half-time. As I think that is Jesus there for Lille, who takes a massive flop there on the ground. Neymar would be proud of that one, and we get possession back there, thankfully. No penalty given for that massive dive, and we get the ball back after Lille were in quite a dangerous position there. Nice ball played forward there to Benvenu. Blair scored a big goal yesterday, and that might be a big penalty down the other end. McKeeve there brought him down. I think that looks like a pretty clear-cut penalty, and this should give Adam Saki a chance to complete his hat-trick on the 40-minute mark. Indeed it does. This has been a really good first half. McKeeve gets a yellow card, and despite that really bad placement of the graphic, he puts it away in the bottom right corner, and this has been a superb reaction in this first half off the back of yesterday. A hat-trick to Adam Saki, keeping up that good goal-scoring form he picked up there against Shaun in the League Cup. That makes it 3-0 on the day, 4-2 on aggregate, so a big turnaround, and it does look like we at least have one more highlight here before half-time at the 40-minute mark, as they will try and make their way back into this game. But this has been a really good first half, as I said, and yet again we do get possession back. Ali Ramadan back to Filippo Donelli as we look to play our way out from the back, which has worked quite well so far in this one. Radenko Krolo plays that all the way back to Carl Vollen, but looking very dominant here, a lot better than we did yesterday in France in that first league. Another good chance here for Adam Saki, loops that over the goalkeeper into the bottom right corner. 4 first half goals for Adam Saki. That is now free from open play as well, and we now have a 3-goal advantage before half time here in the second leg and make it 4-0 on the day. This time Luis Herrera with the ball forward. That's a really nice finish that from Adam Saki. Pinpoint placement, and we are now up by 3 goals, 4 minutes shy of half-time. And we're not done in the first half yet. Back down the end of Lille with a 4-0 lead, just entering injury time here in the first half. An interesting tackle there on Radenko Krolo. Doesn't collect. Bayer there gets a shot off, but it is blocked. They clear it deep there, do Lille, and we get yet another chance here to build from the back, and we get that forward to Adam Saki, already with 4 goals. Radenko Krolo in a lot of space here. Nice ball, far post, Mizkic. Big chance there to make it 5-0 in the first half and 6-2 on aggregate. Unfortunately, that shot was a little bit too straight at the goalkeeper, but that is a superb first half. Well and truly turned things around off the back of yesterday. We pick up a 4-0 lead, and that means that it is 5-2 here. Going into the second half, we're going to make absolutely no changes because everyone is playing quite well, and hopefully we can hold on to this 3-goal cushion off the back of that great first half, taking a 4-0 lead into the second half of this first knockout round tie. And only 6 minutes into the second half, we start off with a corner here to Lille. Waller makes a save. It falls there to Kamil Piatkowski though, and Lille do get on the score sheet here in Iceland. Hopefully that's just a blip, because we don't want Lille to score any more. That will make things quite interesting here. But Waller makes the initial save off the header, I believe from McKeeve, but the rebound falls nicely there for Piatkowski, and that makes it 5-3 on aggregate early on here in the second half of the second leg. But not too long off the back of that, we are down the other end for a throw right around the halfway line. Nice ball played forward there, but unfortunately, I think that player for us there was offside. That's why he hasn't gone after that. Interesting slide tackle there on Jesus. Thankfully, does not connect, and Lille have yet another chance. They're putting us under pressure here early in the second half, and it is McKeeve on that yellow card. We'll play that to Harvey Elliott, but he loses out on position there thanks to Louis Herrera, a long ball forward, and Adam Saki manages to get himself beyond Piatkowski there, and we are now inside the box of Lille. Plays that back to Miskic, will fire that into the top right corner, and just after Lille get us slightly on our toes there early in the second half, we grab our free goal cushion back and make it 5-1 on the day, and surely with just over 30 minutes left, that will be enough for us to make our way through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League yet again. Saki, good work there to get the ball back for us from that long clearance, and then Miskic rockets that into the back of the net. 5-1 on the day, 6-3 on aggregate. And up to the 66-minute mark for our next highlight, we have a free kick here on the halfway line these days. Probably just looking to close this one out. A very good performance in the first half, and then we respond to Lille's goal in the second half, and that makes it 5-1. Lille did have possession there, but good interception from Agatigara, and Radenko Krolo will hold things up for us near enough to the halfway line, and we steadily start to make our way into the opposition half here. Lasana Dumbia just holding things up now on the halfway line. Another chance here for Adam Saki to make it 5, but that time that shot straight into the arms of Dubbo. That highlight ends. We're still 3 goals up here on aggregate with about 20 minutes left. And up to the 73-minute mark now, I think we've got enough quality to see this game out. So we're going to make a triple sub here, get some young players to get some ratings in the later stages of this game. A few players who I think need a bit of time off. Usually the players who are a little bit more injury prone will take off. So Bruno Costa will come on for Lasana Dumbia, as well as that Agustin Agatigare I think will take off and give Hans Voss a little bit of Champions League game time. And to go alongside that, Alain Basicki can come on for Bustaroge. So 3 changes there, still 3 goals up with just over 15 minutes left. And up to the 83-minute mark here, Lille have a throw-in, but this should be all over Red Rover, and Alain Basicki off the bench does get possession back for us. We play out from the back, Ramadan up to Bruno Costa. Filippo Donelli holds the ball but gives that straight back to Avando, and they do get a potential chance there, but thankfully we do clear the ball away. That did look a little bit threatening there. Looked like Filippo Donelli might give Lille a little bit of a late path into this game, but thankfully that was not the case, albeit Lille are still on the attack there. Nice ball for McKeeve, but thankfully Carl Vollen makes the save there from a tight angle. Still 3 goals up here with only 6 minutes left plus injury time. In this one, we'll try and deal with the subsequent corner. Thankfully we do there through Basicki. Still 3 goals up with only 5 minutes left. And we enter injury time in the second leg of this first knockout round of the Champions League. Great first half, and that has set us up for this comeback, losing 2-1 yesterday, but a very, very good performance for first half goals there to Adam Saki, and it drove us forward to a 5-1 victory, and that means that we turn things around from being 2-1 down to picking up, in the end, quite a comfortable looking 6-3 win, but we know that we were pretty average yesterday. We're going to need to turn things up a little bit more come at the quarterfinals, but we'll come back off the back of this, check in on who wins on the final match day of this first knockout round, because from the other side of the draw, Arsenal did hang on there to defeat Real Madrid, even though Real Madrid did pick up a win in the second leg by 3-1. Arsenal, their 5-0 win in the first leg does mean that they are going through alongside us off the back of that 5-1 win in our second leg. We'll go forward a few more days, get through the second legs of those other 2 ties, and then have a look at who we do get in the quarterfinals of this 2036 Champions League. And we've gone forward a few days off the back of that come from behind win there against Lille, at least in the second leg. Anyway, really good first half performance. Adam Saki bringing that goal scoring form from the Shaun game into that one, and we are about to take part in both the quarterfinal and the semi-final draw, so try and hopefully reveal our path to trying to defend our Champions League crown. But before then, we did still have 2 games which were to be decided. The winners of those, as expected, Hertha Berlin go out to Chelsea. They back up their win in the first leg there with a 1-0 win in the second leg, going through 4-1 on aggregate. And AC Milan get the job done over Bayern Munich on penalties. They are the other team who are going to make up the final 8 here this season. Don't have to worry about not getting any teams, because of course we found out last year that doesn't matter, and even if that was the case, Dortmund got knocked out quite early on here by Juventus. Probably the teams that we want to avoid Manchester City as well as Manchester United, the two teams who have caused us a few issues in the Champions League the last few seasons. But we are about to take part in the quarterfinal draw first, and we'll see who gets who first out of the hat. Are a Chelsea team, which has probably looked the best so far this Champions League season, albeit it'll be interesting to see if the loss of Jonathan Berger does affect that, and they will take on AC Milan, two of the teams I wouldn't have minded getting. They go out there in that first tie. Next out of the hat are us, so we could get Arsenal, Juventus, Liverpool, or both of the Manchester clubs. I wouldn't mind Arsenal here. They look quite good there against Real Madrid in that first knockout round, but of course we bet them quite heavily in the Super Cup earlier this season, but we instead get Liverpool. So I've got the curse of wearing the shirt here because I do have a Liverpool shirt on, and we are taking on the team which did defeat us in a Europa League final a wee while ago now, but that is the only prior time we have played them so far in this save. So it has been a while. No more Mo Salah or players like that in that Liverpool squad. So they should look pretty different when they did defeat us in that Europa League final. The other ties, Juventus take on Man United, and that means that Arsenal will be taking on Manchester City. And if we go over now to the semi-final, we can have a look at the draw for this as well. First up, it is Chelsea or Milan, and we will be taking on the winner of that tie. And I think that might be a slightly more suitable side of the draw for us, because it does mean that we might potentially avoid one of Manchester City or Manchester United, but we could yet again be taking on a Manchester club in the final, unless one of Juventus or Arsenal have something to say about that, or of course Liverpool, AC Milan, or Chelsea on our side of the draw. But that will pretty much do it for today's episode. We will have a quick look at Liverpool, see how they are getting on since they did beat us in the Europa League final back in 2029. They do still have Trent Alexander-Arnold there as their vice captain. Of course, Thomas Tuchel is still in charge there. He was in charge when they did beat us in that Europa League final all the way back now in 2029. That is quite a while ago now that we have got up to 2036, playing five at the back. Quite a narrow formation, no doubt. Those wing backs do get forward, though. A few familiar names there in terms of Alexander-Arnold, and they do have Benjamin Sesko up front as well, but that does look like quite an old Liverpool team in those terms. And the other players they do have, I don't think are the strongest players in the world. Carmelia, quite a good player to be fair. They signed him off of Bayern Munich not too long ago. He's their top goal scorer. Of course, they do have Gio Reyna there as well. I can see by the player stats he will be quite good, even though he is a little bit old at this stage of the save. But a few familiar faces there in that Liverpool team. Will be interesting to see how we get on against the team, as I said, who beat us back in the 2029 Europa League final. They currently find themselves fifth in the Premier League, just outside a Champions League qualifying spot at the moment. It looks like both of the Manchester clubs are running away with things a little bit over there in England. But that will do it for today's episode. We get through, come from behind there against Lille, and we set up a quarterfinal tomorrow against Liverpool. If you did enjoy today's episode, also that transfer of Jonathan Berger, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow for a Champions League quarterfinal against Liverpool, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.